Hello everyone, Jeremy here, and I would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, a very good Thursday regardless. And this video here is going to be about a cool little gift that my parents bought for my little brothers on Christmas, and it's something that I can totally dig, and it is this. This is the Sega Genesis classic game console with 80 built-in games from a company called AtGames. And as the price tag says, this was $40. I don't know if it was slightly discounted and this is just the sticker price, but I have seen these things around. I've always ignored them, but I've seen them in Walmart. I've seen them in Big Lots. I've seen them in Walgreens. And in fact, the Walgreens version actually has a handheld version of this. And while it's not quite like the classic original Game Gear, it still gives you 80 games, and I saw that for about 35 bucks. But this is the console variant. So inside of this box, there are two wireless controllers. They are not of the best quality, but they are wireless. And then you also get the little console here, which is light as a feather. Because really the only thing that's in there is maybe a little battery so that you can keep it powered and some memory. It's very hollow. And also, it has this slot at the very top of it, which will allow you to put original Sega Genesis games into this. So if you still have Sega Genesis cartridges, you can put some of them, perhaps most of them, but not all of them, into there, and you can continue to play, and as well as Genesis controllers, because there's controller ports on there too. So I say that you can't play all the games because there is a little disclaimer that says some cartridges are not compatible due to cartridge conditions or original specification of games and cartridge hardware. So not all the games will work, but you still get 80 of them. So which 80 games do you get in this thing? Luckily for us, they are all listed on the back. I am talking about some classic games here. If Sonic the Hedgehog is what you're into, you're going to get Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 2, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, and Sonic and Knuckles. You know the cool thing about Sonic and Knuckles was that you could put Sonic 2 or Sonic 3 into the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, and I believe that enabled you to play as Knuckles in those two games, which is pretty cool. We've also got Altered Beast, another classic, Alex Kidd. There's Vector Man. Where's Vector Man? I know he's here somewhere. Vector Man 2. He's somewhere in here because I played it. We also get Streets of Rage. We get Comic Zone. We get Crackdown. Not that Crackdown, the other Crackdown. Wow, what else do we got here? We have Brain Switch. We have Black Sheep, Golden Axe 2. Really cool stuff. And also Echo Jr. And the cool thing about this is very easy to get up and start it to play. Inside of this box, you're going to get, of course, the two wireless controllers, which are powered by batteries, the AC adapter for the console itself, and the 80 built-in games. And it's powered entirely with audio and video cables, which are the little yellow and white or yellow and red cables. So basically, if you have any TV that is within the past, I don't know, 20 years, you can plug this thing in and it'll work just fine. So let's take a look at the console itself, give that a little bit more detail, and then I'm going to show you some gameplay. So here is the console, and as you can see, it is very small. It's quite small, and practically nothing is inside of it. We've got two buttons here for on and off, and one for the menu here, and the little red light that lets you know that it's on. This slot right here, you can put in the original Sega Genesis games, and then on the back, we've got two inputs here for audio and video. Yellow is video, white is audio. And of course, the old power jack with the included adapter that plugs into the wall, and that is really it. We get the Sega Genesis logo, we get the AtGames logo, and that's really all. Here's a look at the controller, the wireless controller. Much like the console itself, it is very lightweight, but it is something that even, a kid can get used to. We've got 6 face buttons for A, B, C, X, Y, and Z, menu, and start, just like it is on the console itself. And when you hit the menu button, it pretty much just resets and takes you back to the main menu where you can see all the games. And of course, you got the directional pad that takes you in the 8 different directions. And you'll know that it actually has a charge to it, or the batteries are working. When you press a button, you can kind of see it light up. Now, it does take batteries. I believe it takes a couple of AAA batteries, and you have to put them into this slot here. You need a little screwdriver to take this out, put the batteries in, put this back on, screw it back. Not sure how long it's going to last at this point, but this is pretty much what you get. Now, you also get another controller, but it looks the exact same as this one. But if you can just imagine another controller sitting next to this, this is your complete package. So when you turn on the classic Sega Genesis console from AtGames, this is the page that you are going to come to. There's no startup animation with logos and all that stuff. It's immediately taken to this first page, which lists 10 different games here. Now, I apologize for the off-camera footage. I tried to capture this with my Elgato Game Capture HD, but apparently, since the video resolution brought forth from this console is so low, my television cannot convert that signal over HDMI, so we have to deal with the off-camera footage. But anyway, we've got 8 pages here that we can just continuously go through with 10 games each, and we can see every game that is currently available for us to play. And if you look down at the bottom left, right beneath the left side of the television, that is the console. Now, the thing is, the range on this, or the directional range from the controller to the console, is not that good. So you kind of have to be right in the middle in order to pick something up. You can't be off to the side on the other side of the room, because the console will not pick up the inputs from the controller. So you have to be as close as you can. So let's just start up a game here. Let's go with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'm going to go down on there and press start on the controller. You see things start up pretty much immediately. It's very impressive that there really are no long loading times or anything. Alright, Emerald Hill Zone 1. So, yep, here we go. Just classic Sonic stuff, just using the D-pad to run. Ouch. And like I said, you have to make sure that you are very close to the console as far as the direction that you're pointing the controller at. Otherwise, it won't work all that well. Game is running pretty smooth. I don't know if you can hear the music, but to me it doesn't quite sound exactly like the music on this level. But I really don't know. From stereo to mono, from what I remember the music being to what I can hear now, is probably completely different. But besides that, there is no lag. It is completely playable, no problems at all. I'm just going to run through this first stage. Yeah, I'm hearing like different notes in the music that I'm not too sure were totally present in the Genesis era, but then again, different audio things, it could just make things just sound different, but it's totally playable. So when you're done, you just hit the menu button on the controller, and it just immediately goes back to the main menu. Let's try something else here. Let's try Comics Zone. This was a very unique game back in the day for Sega. It was a very unique art style, of course. It is a comic book art style. Skip through all that. Episode 1, Night of the Mutants. Alright. So, I don't know how to play this and how to fight, but I'm going to try. Okay, I guess I can't jump on this guy. This is our turf. Just take it easy, big boy. There we go. See, I thought I was moving, but unfortunately, I moved away from the console, and I ended up getting hurt. Alright. So again, the movement, very smooth, just like it is on a normal Sega Genesis. And even though I'm really all that these are just ROMs that have been loaded up onto this little machine and put into memory, it is working very well. I love that going from panel to panel. This game was really unique in its time. There we go, break them all. Go over here. Okay. Alright, so this is Comic Zone. Let's go out and let's play another game. I'm going to hit the menu button. And of course the pause button just works just like any other pause button. Whatever pause did or whatever start did in the original game, that's how it's going to be in this game. Alex Kidd. This is another one of those classic Sega games. Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. Now some games on here are 2 players and it does come with 2 controllers, so you can use that if you want, but it does not tell you what games are 2 players when you first start. That's just sort of something that you have to just see. No, let's just leave. That's something that you, whoopsie, have to make out once you actually start playing. Alright, I've died in Rookie Town. That can't be good. How do you jump? How do you jump? There we go. That's how you jump. Jump over the car, Alex Kidd. Woo! Trying to jump kick this little airplane, and I've died again. All right, let's go to another game. You're getting the idea of how this works. Let's pick another classic. Streets of Rage. Yeah, Streets of Rage 3. Another classic. You know, back then you had Streets of Rage and you also had Final Fight if you had a Super Nintendo. And although the concept of these games were very, very similar, they were both very fun in their own respect. All right, so one player, I'm going to pick Zahn. He's 6'7", weighs over 300 pounds. Not that it really matters in a game like this, but it's nice that they included such things. Oh, that's a super ability. Feeling good, you know, once again, just like it always had. Oh. Oh, I keep doing that. Yeah, so you're familiar with these games. You just kind of fight the same kind of basic palette swap of different enemies until you reach the end of the level and you fight a boss. And the screams from when you kill people are so bad. Everything, all the sounds seem like they were made on a Casio keyboard. But this feels so good. I wish there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game in this, but there is not. That would be awesome. Jump kick. Take that, Garcia. And Zack. Oh, Streets of Rage. Good times. Super move. Okay. Alright, so that's Streets of Rage. Let's do one more. So far, everything has felt fantastic. Sonic 3D Blast. Now this is interesting. Sonic 3D Blast, as the name suggests, it's not a 2D game. And it was a very interesting take on the Sonic franchise at that time. I mean, just look at the way that it looks. Alright, let's start it off. Look at that. Perhaps this was the beginning of Sega's crazy experimentations with Sonic. There we go. I was wondering, like, what's going on here? Once again, gameplay feels fantastic. How do we do the... Okay, gotta get on this thing. Sonic Spinball is also on here. That's a good memory in my mind. And you see, everything just kind of, it just works. Everything is responsive as long as you got the controller facing the console, at all times. And for the $40, and maybe you can even find this to be a little cheaper, I say this is a pretty good deal. Especially if you are nostalgic. How do you do this? I don't know what this does. If you're nostalgic for classic Sega Genesis games like this one and many others, I say that this is definitely worth picking up. Now, I don't know how it will stand up over time. I hope that it just doesn't decide that it's going to just, die one day. That would be bad. But if it does hold up over time, this is a good emulator to have. You can put your old Genesis games inside of them, most of them, and they will work. All Genesis controllers, you can plug it in there and they will work. At least reportedly they will work. This could be a good way to get your Genesis fix in a legal way. These are sold in stores. The box says it's licensed by Sega, so it's legal, and it can kind of hope to get rid of that gray area between the legality of owning ROMs and emulators and all that stuff. You go to the store, you get this, you're going to be good. No hounds knocking at your door. So thanks so much for watching this. This thing is really cool, and I'm not too sure if my little brothers can appreciate it, but if they don't, I will. So until next time, I'm Jeremy, and I will talk to you later.